Hello, everybody. My name is Casimir. I'm from Macmillan Education, and I'd like to welcome you all to our with Russell Stannard. He will be doing a training session on evaluation and assessment when teaching online. We hope you follow. And before I pass the mic over to Russell, I would like to remind everyone that if you remember that I'll be coming on for a moment after we do the question session at the end to discuss some of our upcoming events. So at this stage, if I could pass the mic over to Russell and we can get started. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. And hopefully you can all see me in the on the screen. I'm going to just quickly open up my screen presentation and just show you what I'm planning on showing you today. So just jump over to my presentation. Here we are, and just going to open up the top of it. And so what I'm planning on doing today is basically focusing on assessment and evaluation when teaching online. Hopefully quite a lot of you know me. I run a website called teachertrainingvideos.com, and I also am an associate trainer for Nile, who do a lot of work with Macmillan. I'm going to make today's session as practical as I possibly can. And this is basically what I'm going to do. I want to set a bit of context. And then I'm going to talk about, particularly I'm going to focus on formative assessment and some of the problems that we have with formative assessment when teaching online. I'm going to make it really practical with lots of examples. We're going to look at some of the tools. We're going to use them. And then after we've gone through a few practical examples, I'll just draw some conclusions. Now, we're doing this through YouTube, so it's going to take, when I do a screen share and I share the links to the activities, then it will take a few seconds for this to all kind of connect. Don't worry, we're going to make it as interactive as we possibly can. And one other really important thing, many of the technologies that I'm going to use today, you could use them if you were teaching in a blended learning context as well. So it doesn't have to be just an online teaching context. It could be in a blended learning context as well. So I'm just going to jump back to my presentation just for a quick second. And let me just come out of here. Just going to jump back. And first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to just get a bit of a feeling for what you have been experiencing with teaching online and just how you feel about it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a technology called Answer Garden to collect your ideas. And then I'm going to show you all your ideas on the screen. So Answer Garden is a free technology. You just write a question, share the link, and then everybody can write their answers onto the screen. So what I'm going to do is going to do a screen share again. And this time we're going to jump over to a technology called Answer Garden. So let me just jump over there and jump onto Answer Garden. I'm just going to write a question, and all I need to do is just click here and just to write the question. And I'm going to say about what was your experience of teaching online. And I just want you to, if you can, just to think of maybe one word or a few words just to really explain what your experience was. Now I'm going to make this, all I do is write the question. I'm going to click on make that allow you to write up to 40 characters in the answer. I come to the bottom and I just click on create. Simple as that. Now all I need to do is copy that link and share it with you, and you can answer the question. So I'm going to say, for example, I found it very stressful. Okay. And then if you submit your answer, that will immediately appear on the screen. So I can collect together very quickly all of your ideas. So I'm going to copy that link here. And then what I'm going to do is just going to stop sharing, come back to our presentation, and I'm going to share this link, and hopefully this link now will be passed over to you. all you need to do is to click on the link, just click on the link, and then they open up the screen and just write your answer. Don't forget to press submit, and I can just collect all your answers together, how you're feeling about teaching, or what did you feel about teaching online. I know many of you had to work with Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. Many of you were working with, so just really be interested to collect all your answers together. Don't put it in the chat window. I'd really like you to put it in that, because then I can collect together all your answers in one place. So if you could just click on that link, and then hopefully we can all join the chat room. Join the answer garden and answer your questions. Now I'm going to quickly go back and screen share. Just while you're doing that, I'm going to jump back, do a screen share, and let's just have a quick look and see if I can see any answers appearing on the screen. And let's have a quick look. Hundreds of them. Look at that. Incredible. And that's why I did that. So I'm looking on the screen now, and I can see all these lovely or very interesting answers. So puzzling, challenging, frustrating, new, tiring. Some people said satisfying. That's good. Not too bad. Depressing, hard work. Challenging is a very common word. Stressful as well. Some people are positive, nice experience. Lots of people saying stressful. Hopefully you can see all those ideas onto the screen. Yeah, so a lot of you saying stressful, which I'm not surprised. I think it was a very difficult situation. We weren't really prepared in many ways. I'm not sure that we're even prepared now, maybe a little bit more. Hard work. I think teachers did incredible. Now I could save that. I could save that now. I could click on export, and I could save all of those answers in an image. And this is a really nice way of quickly collecting together everybody's ideas. 12 of you wrote the word challenge, and I'm just going to refresh the screen again. We'll see if anyone's written anything else. Look, there's more and more. Amazing. That's one of the best, the most beautiful answer gardens I've ever seen. I'm definitely going to save this one, because that is absolutely fantastic to see all your answers. Okay, let's just stop sharing, come back to the presentation. Wonderful, guys. All right, so it is challenging, there's no doubt about it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the biggest problems with teaching online. Some of you actually mentioned it a little bit there in some of the things that you were saying, and it's to do with the fact that when we teach online, we don't have direct contact with our students. And so there is a real challenge here. And I'm just going to come back to the presentation and just think a little bit about that challenge that we have when we're working online. Okay, so just going to come back into the presentation and just click on, okay. When we teach online, informal assessment is more difficult, okay? Because we can't see the faces of our students. We can't see how they react. We can't see the levels of enthusiasm. We can't really see their body language. So it's very, very difficult to pick up an idea of how the students are following the lesson. We can be teaching, and particularly, for example, now I'm teaching you, or I'm doing a presentation, and it's very difficult for me. Obviously, the chat window helps, definitely helps, but it is very difficult for me to really know what's happening in the lesson. Now, a lot of that information that we get from our students is we pick it up informally. We're in the lesson, we can feel, we've got experience, we can see the faces of our students, we can see how they're sitting, we can see how they're working in groups, we can feel the energy of the class, and we can get a really good idea, are they following the lesson or not? When we're teaching online, it's very difficult to do. So we need to use technologies that are going to help us to do that. Now, there are lots of technologies that we can use. The obvious thing is to use the chat and to use the speaking facility that we've got by turning on the audio when we're doing a presentation. But in reality, we need to actually plan activities to quickly check their understanding. Now, there are common tools that we've always been using. Okay, so let me just go back a bit. There are common tools that we've always been using to do this, and I've just showed you one. Answer Garden is a great way of quickly asking a question and finding out whether your students follow you or are thinking about ideas. But we can use a whole range of technologies to do this. Now, what we're going to do today is look at a couple of old ones, but more excitingly, I'm going to introduce you to some new technologies, because there are lots of technologies coming out, and some of them are specifically for language learning, and they're ideal for this problem that we've got, that we can't check understanding so easily. We need to formalize it. We need to plan it when we're teaching online. I'm going to focus on formal assessment. Remember, when we're looking at formal assessment, we're really looking at collecting information that helps us to decide how we want to continue the lesson or continue the next lesson. So it gives us information both for us as a teacher about whether or not the lesson's working, but also help our students as well. So we're not looking so much at summative. We're really looking at this whole idea of formal assessment, formal evaluation of our students, okay? And as I said, what we actually lose in a lesson is this ability to kind of informally evaluate what's happening in the classroom. Okay, so let's just jump back, and I'm going to show you some of these emerging technologies. We're going to choose another one. So I'm going to just stop sharing and come back again to the main window. Just sorry, one second. Just going to jump out of that presentation, come back in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another technology that we can use to kind of collect ideas from our students or check understanding. And this technology is called Wordle. Okay, Wordle is a really lovely word wall, is a really lovely technology, word wall. Okay, I'm going to jump over to it and show you it. And this technology, one of the reasons I'm showing it to you is that one technology has many activity types, and we're going to try a few so you get a feeling. This is the ideal technology that if you're teaching online and you want to check their understanding during the session, but you could use this in class as well. So jumping back again into Screenshare, going to jump over. We're going to now, okay, going to click on and share. This time I'm looking at a technology here called Word Wall. Now I'm going to show you an example. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to just click here. And this particular one is just a really simple activity. Let me show you how it works. Okay. So in this one, and I could have done anything. This could be absolutely anything. I just want the students to match things. So for example, this could be the present verb and the past verb, or this could be, for example, in this particular example, I could, for example, have created this with adverbs. So it could be the frequency of adverbs. So very often, sometimes, occasionally, rarely, etc. All the students have to do is to put, in this particular case, to put the gross national product of different countries around the world in order. So the richest country in the world is America, and the second country is China, and the third country is Germany, and the fourth country is the United Kingdom, the fifth country is Italy, the sixth country is Spain, and the seventh country is Latvia. Okay, and we get immediate feedback on that. So I can click here, and it's going to tell me whether I got the answer right or wrong. Okay, and then I can see immediately what the answer is. Okay, and it's very quick, it's instant, it's fun, and there are loads of activities. Now I'm going to get you to try some of these activities in a minute, but just before I start, I'm just going to click on create an activity and just show you, look how many activities there are. One technology offering all these activities. Okay, now we're going to come back to my activities, and I'm going to have a look at another one, and I've got a really simple one here. Okay, so I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to actually show you how I made it. So I click here, and all I did was write some sentences. Okay, so I'm going to just change these situations. Okay, so I'm going to write, Russell has been to Italy. Russell was in Rome last year. Okay, Russell loves eating Italian food. Okay, next sentence. Russell can't speak Italian. Now I could make more sentences. So we got 5 sentences. Okay, I'm going to click on done. And now, if I was to play this game with my students, it would be very simple. So those sentences, you could write any sentences you want, and you could have 10 sentences, 12 sentences. I'm doing it really quickly. I'm going to click on start and show you what to do. So I click on the start button and I have to put this in order. So Russell was in Rome last year. Okay, first one done. Second sentence comes onto the screen. Russell has been to Italy. Okay, next sentence comes onto the screen. Russell, like everybody, loves Italian or loves eating Italian food. Next one onto the screen. Russell can't speak Italian. Last sentence. Russell speaks Spanish. Okay, you can see how easy this technology is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to do this activity. So let me show you how you can share it. I just click on share. I can make an activity in seconds. I click on share. I click on set assignment. And I'm going to choose that you can put your name on the leaderboard at the end if you want. I click on start. Okay. And all I do now is copy this link and share that with you. You can click on the link and you will be able to do this activity. So I'm going to jump back. I'm going to just share that and we're going to pass that over to you now. So all I want you to do is click on that link and do the activity. And then when you're finished, can you write in the chat finish so that I know that you finished the activity? This is just to give you a feeling of this particular technology. It's called Wordle. Okay, sorry, Wordwall. All right, a lovely technology. You can create quick activities in the lesson to check your students' understanding. Okay, just going to give you a couple of moments. When you've finished, please write into the chat window finish so that I know you finished, because there's about 400 of you in the room. Okay, and just want to, yes, the technology is free. You can make up to 5 games for free. And you can edit the games and use them again and again and again and again. All right. So you can only make up to 5 different games, but you can edit them and use them again and again, which is exactly what I just did now. I edited the game and then shared it onto the screen so that you could do that activity. So let me just give you a couple of minutes to complete that. We're looking for activities that we can do in the lesson. You could do this on an interactive whiteboard as well with your students, or do it in the lesson if your students have access to a computer. But it's really powerful if you're teaching online and you want to check students' understanding and collect together their ideas. It's a very, very powerful tool. Okay, let's see if anyone's finished. Great, I can see a few of you have finished. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to finish. So lovely to see lots of people have finished now. Just a couple more minutes. Okay, what I love about this technology is that there are so many different activities that you can do. We're going to look at some other possibilities in a minute. Okay, just give people 1 more minute to finish. There's a lot of you. There's about 400 and something of you in the room. So there's a big group. I can see that it seems to be working absolutely fine. Lovely technology. We're going to come back now and have a quick look at Wordle in more detail. Okay, I want to repeat, you can make 5 free games, 5 free games from this technology, but then you can keep using them again and again and again and just edit them. So for each class, if you need to make the level higher or you need to make the level lower. Okay, so really great technology. It's proving very popular on my YouTube channel and on my website. Many people commenting, Russell, this is fantastic. One technology, so many different activities. So let's go back and have a little look, a little bit more. So I'm going to screen share again. I'm going to come up to the top, click on share, and hopefully we're going to come over to the Wordle. So we're going to close that down. Let's just have a quick look at we'll come back in a minute and have a look at the results. Let's focus on at the moment at the activities. So we've got all these activity types: matching, sorting into groups. You know, these things are perfect. For example, put all the verbs together, all the adjectives together, all the nouns together. Matching activity, obviously really lovely. You know, match first part of the sentence with the second part, or match the words with the you know, with the whether it's a noun or a verb or something like that, or match the opposites, or match similar words. You've got unjumble. You've just saw me do that. You've got true or false. You've got some lovely game types, for example, balloon pop, and the quiz show is fantastic. Now I'm going to show you another one. So I'm going to come up to my activities, and the one that I'm going to give you now is going to be quite difficult. And this is actually from a practice lesson that I was doing. So we were looking at famous buildings around the world. I'm just going to click on this. And again, I'm going to play it for you. What you have to do is try to match the correct places. So what I'm going to tell, we got the Tower of Pisa, for example. So a famous palace. Let's start from the third one. We got Sagrada Familia. Okay. So that would be cathedral designed by Gaudi. The next one down, Burj Khalifa. That is the biggest building in the world. So I'm going to have to come up here and find currently the tallest building in the world. That one's going to go there. Next one, Tower of Pisa. Okay, so that's going to be, let's have a look, famous Leaning Tower in Italy. Okay, next one, Parthenon. The Parthenon. And again, so I want you to do this activity. Once you've finished, you click on Submit Answer. And again, it's going to give you instant feedback. Tells me if I got it wrong or right. I got a lot wrong. Okay, obviously I wasn't just trying to do it. It also shows me them in a different color. And now, if I want to, I can put my name onto the leaderboard. So I can say Russell, and I can see that in my leaderboard in a minute. Okay, at the moment I'm top. So I'm going to share this activity with you. I'm going to click on share. This is quite a tricky one. Okay, a bit more testing. I just want to show you some of the things that you can do with this. I'll include the leaderboard. I'll click on start. Exactly the same thing again. I'm going to copy that link. Going to come back to screen share, and we're going to pass this over to you. So hi guys, I seem to have jumped out the window there. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, right, going to come into the private chat. Okay, can I just check? Can you all hear me still? Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I quickly jumped out of the window. Yeah, can you just write in the chat window? Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, I seem to just jump out then. So just going to come back into the private chat and just going to share that link with you. And hopefully we can now share that link. Okay, if you could pass that link on, I want you to do exactly the same thing. Click on the link and hopefully you can do the activity. Okay, well done. All right, Luca. So everybody, that activity is a bit more difficult. You've got famous buildings and you've got descriptions. You've got to match them all up and then click on the check button. The same thing, when you've finished, can you just write in the comments window so that I know that you've finished, okay? So hopefully we've passed the link on to you now. All you need to do is click in the chat window, okay? And hopefully... Great. Okay. Good. Sorry about that. So just for a minute, I jumped out of the system and I'm not really sure why. But anyway, so we're back in and I've shared the link. And this activity, you have to match the names of different buildings around the world with their description. Okay. Really quick to make that activities, just a few seconds to make that activity. Share the link with your students and they can do the activity and you can track what the students have done, and I'll be showing you that in a minute as well. So please just let me know when you finished. Okay. Wow, you are really fast. Some of you are obviously much better when it comes to architecture and famous buildings. okay, than I am. Okay, really lovely technology, that one, right? Good. So please just write in the window when you're finished so I can just see. Lots of you are writing. All right. Again, I'm just trying to show you the variety of activities that we can do with this particular technology. Just to give you another 30 seconds to do that. And then I'm going to show you the results, because when the students do this activities, we can track the students and see what they've been doing. And so let's just have a quick look. Brilliant. Lots of comments coming up onto the screen. I can see those. Wonderful. Loads of you are finished now. Okay, you're obviously a lot faster than me. As I said there, Wordwall. I keep saying Wordwall, sorry, wordwall.net, okay? At the end of this presentation, I will also organize a special handout for you, okay, which I've done, so you can access the videos to show you how to use all of these technologies. Right, let's go back and have a look then at what you've done. Let's look at the results, because we can look at the results. It's really interesting. So I'm going to do a screen share again and click on share. Going to come back to the Wordle, going to click on done. Okay, and if I come up to my results, and you can see I'm using this technology now really a lot. Okay, I can see that 148 of you so far have done that activity. And if I click here, I can actually see the results. I can see how many of you got all the answers right. Most of you nearly got perfect. So, and I can see who was the fastest, and that was Yarina was the fastest with a score in 29 seconds. Then Simona, and I can see even more. Okay, who was the fastest in the room? So absolutely fantastic. Gives me all that information. So really, really useful, as well as giving me information about which questions the students might have found difficult, what the average score was, etc. Now, the important thing, of course, is that I act on this. So I've collected together all this information. It helps me to understand what I need to focus on in the lesson. Are the students following me? If I was doing this activity in my class with my students, I would say to myself, definitely they're following me. Okay, I can see that nearly everyone got the answers right. The average score was 9. And I can very quickly do this and get information from the students. Now, let's just go back a little bit to my activities. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activities that I'm currently using in my account. And I can change these at any time. So if I want to play any of these games again and use them again, I can simply click and edit and just change the content. Okay, so this one, for example, again, is just a sentence and then a definition, or basically the beginning of the sentence and the end. So I can do any type of activity. I can update the activities. Now, you're only allowed 5 free activities, so you are limited, but 5 is fantastic because I've been using the 5 activities for a long time. I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Tip number 1, create 2 accounts. If you have 2 Gmail accounts, or if you have 2 different email accounts, you can log in and make 5 activities in one account and 5 in the other. And for a long time I was doing that. So I had 10 games, 5 in one account, 5 in the other. The other thing that you could look at is to look at actually buying this, because it's actually very cheap. It's about, I'm not sure, it's about 3 or 4 pounds, euros per month or something like that. It's not particularly expensive. And of course you get, as I've said, if you look at create activities and if you pay, you even get more. Okay, but a wonderful tool. Lots of, look at these ones, higher or lower, unscramble, really conveyor belts so that things are coming across the screen. Rank the order, put them in order from the highest to the lowest, put into categories, loads and loads of options. That is definitely a technology to look out for. And I will be giving you a video at the end of the session today to actually see how you like that particular technology. I must say that it's proved to be really, really popular with my students. Okay, so just coming back really quickly to the presentation. So we've got these tools. We've already looked at Answer Garden. Answer Garden's a great technology. And I'm going to just now do a little activity using Padlet and just collect your ideas. What do you think of WordWall? So I'm going to just jump out of this presentation, come over to another technology that I use very often, a free technology again. And I'm going to, again, you are limited to the number of free ones that you can use, but this is really lovely. And I'm going to show you an example. It's a great one if you want to collect together people's comments on something, but in more detail. So if I click here, whereas Answer Garden is for quick ones, this one we can do much longer contributions, and also we can comment on each contribution. So I'm going to do an activity today where I demonstrate how we can use Padlet at a higher level. Some of you will already know Padlet, but maybe you don't know what I'm going to show you now. So what I'm going to ask you is I'm going to click on Make a Padlet, and I'm going to create a grid. So I'm going to click on Grid, and I'm going to ask the question, how would you use, in fact, let's ask the question now, let's put it this way. How do you check your students' understanding when teaching online? Okay, that's my question to you. How do you check your students in understanding when teaching online? We know we've got this problem. Sometimes we can't even see the students. Okay, so I've written the question in the Padlet. I'm going to click on Next. I don't have to do anything else. I'm going to click on Start Posting, and I'm going to share this link with you. All you need to do is double click on the screen. Please, at the top, write your name, and then underneath, write what you do. So I'm going to write here, I use tools like Padlet, Answer Garden, WordWall, and also another one that I use a lot is that'll do, WordWall. I also use the chat window to check they are following me. Okay, so again, I just click, and that contribution is now added onto the screen. So this way you can write a lot more. Okay, please put your name at the top. So all you need to do is double click on the screen, write your name, and then add your comment underneath. I'm just going to delete that. So I'm going to share this link with you exactly the same. We're going to be collecting together. So I'm going to stop sharing, jump over again, going to share the link in the private chat, and it's going to be posted onto you. Okay, hopefully, if you can pass that, if they're going to share that link with you now, click on that link, and I'd love to get your ideas about how you check students' understanding when you're in an online situation, because sometimes you can't see the students, sometimes you're very kind of limited with the cameras, and so you have to turn them off. So if you can, just click in that link, and on that link, and then click on the screen, write your name at the top, and then put your answer onto the screen. I'm collecting together all your answers, but Padlet is a bit different, and you're going to see why in a moment. Okay, so this is a great technology that we can use in the classroom, but I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced level, because I know that some of you already know Padlet. Don't worry, I've got some other new technologies that I'm going to be showing you in a minute as well. So love to see. I'm going to have a quick look and see if you're writing your ideas. So I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to jump over to that Padlet, and let's see how everyone's getting on. And I can see loads of you all trying to write on the screen now. Hundreds and hundreds of you. It's a little bit crazy because we got maybe one of the biggest classes I've ever taught. There's 118 or 119 of you now all online trying to write at the same time. Obviously, we wouldn't have this problem if we were teaching in class, because we're probably only going to be 20 or 30 students. Okay, so it'd be great if you can just write your ideas. Yeah. Okay, so I can see people suggesting some really good ideas. Socrative, really great to hear that. Google Forms, really great to use that as well. Mentimeter, that's another lovely technology that we can use to check students' understanding. Some of you use Padlet, it's really nice to see. Someone says Google Modules. Okay, I'm not actually sure what Google Modules is. I think that is part of, if I'm right, the Google Classroom. So someone said they use quizzes. Great, lots of ideas coming up onto the screen now. Okay, we can see absolutely loads and loads of ideas. Okay, just going to give you, Simona says that she asked the students. Yeah, that can work really well, definitely, especially if you can use the audio. But I think it's really nice to bring lots of variety into the types of activities that we can do. Okay, so speaking, a lot of people are saying Google Forms, quizzes, chat, getting them to speak, really good. Okay, so we can use a lot of different techniques to do this. Okay. Good. So some people here ask specific questions to specific students as well. That's another possibility. Someone's talking about using Flipperty. That's a lovely technology as well. Okay, so loads of technologies now that you're all becoming aware of, which is fantastic to see. Okay. All right. Obviously, I think Google Forms is a great one because you can also get instant feedback from Google Forms. Hopefully now you've got word wall to add, and you've got Answer Garden for quick questions. Answer Garden can be great for quick questions. Just going to give you about another minute to put your answers up there onto the screen. Absolutely fantastic, guys. Everyone, someone's decided to just write hi and scribble on the screen. Okay. We all know that Padlet can do that. No problem. We all know that we can add videos into Padlet and stuff like that as well. Okay, I'd like you to, if you don't mind doing this seriously, but that's up to you. Okay, so got lots of ideas coming up onto the screen. I've known Padlet since it was actually called Woolwisher. Originally, Padlet was Woolwisher. Guys, can I get you to stop a minute? Because I just want to show you something now about Padlet, just in case you're not aware of a few things that we can do. All right. Okay, so lovely. Thank you for your ideas. You can see what amazing contributions we got. That's one of the biggest Padlets I've ever created. Now, one thing that you can do with Padlet, though, if you want to get students to respond to what other people have written, we can also do that. So I'm going to just try to screen share if you can. Stop working on Padlet and just watch me. I'm going to quickly show you what we can do. We can click over here and click on Modify. And then we can come down here and we can turn on Comments. And now we can comment on what the other students have written. So I'm going to save that. So it's exactly the same link. I'm just going to click back here and I'm going to just say, for example, Google Forms. I'm just going to click here and say, yes, I think Google Forms is really useful. Okay. And I'm just going to make a little comment here. Wow. You use lots of different technologies. Okay, so I'd like you now to go back to the same link. I'll share it again with you. So I'm just going to come back again to our sorry, hang on a minute. So apologies, got to stop sharing. Going to come back to our presentation and I'm going to share the link again. I want you to go back to the link and just comment on what someone else has written. So this idea with Padlet is that it's got two layers. They can produce something and then we can get the students to respond to what other people have written. And that's a really nice idea because we want to use what we get the students to create. We call this student generated content. So getting the students to use what we create is really, really useful. So can you just go back to the Padlet, click on the link and just respond to what someone else has written, okay, just so you get that idea. There's actually lots of different ways that we can respond when we're working with Padlet. We're not limited to only just responding. We can give a mark, so we could use it for peer feedback, for something like that as well. We can get the students to like or not like or to star a particular piece. So there's lots of different ways that we can work with the technology to kind of get the students to not only produce content, but react to each other's content. And that's really, really important as well. So let me have a little look. I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to come back again. And I'm going to jump over to the Padlet. And I can see already that people are all starting to write their ideas up onto the screen. Okay. People are beginning to add their comments. Okay. So you can see again how powerful this is. Okay. We can get lots of little comments added to people's content. Okay. And I can see lots of you are doing that. All right. If you didn't know that, that is just by simply clicking on the modify button. That's all you need to do. Just click on the modify button and you can set it from the modify button. I'm not only limited to just getting to using the comments. I can also, if I want to, I can click on reactions and I can share reactions. I can click here and I can say, right, I want people to be able to vote or to star or even to grade the comments that the students make. So that's really, really nice technology. Okay, wonderful. I can see lots of you have kind of just practicing doing that. All right, which is really, really nice. Again, in reality, we would be a much smaller group, so it would be much easier to do. There's 192 of you currently on Padlet, adding up your comments and adding in your comments, etc. Okay, lovely to see all these technologies being used. All right. So just going to come back and stop sharing, come back again to the presentation. That's really important, guys. All right. We call that student generated content. If the students create something, try to respond to it. Try to do an activity that connects that content back. So that idea is really nice. They do something, you get the other students to respond. Or if we create an answer garden, then we have a discussion about it, or we do an activity about it. Okay, or we look at the language. Don't just kind of produce these things and then leave them. Make sure you respond to them. Okay, really, really important when we're doing a presentation. Okay, so we've looked at Answer Garden. I've tried to throw in a lot of technologies to date, and I know some of you obviously know some of these technologies. I'm just going to go back and point out a couple of things about Padlet, and we're going to come on to one final technology that I wanted to use with you. So I'm going to click on Screenshare again and do the same thing as I've been doing all the time now. Jump back to Padlet. When you're in Padlet, guys, if we just go back to the home page, in fact, just before we do that, let me just make sure that you understand. If you click on share, you can get an image, save as image. Okay, you can save that Padlet as an image or even save it as a PDF file. The image works better. Now, the reason that's important is because in the free account, you can only have 3 Padlets at any one time. Okay, I've got slightly more than 3 because I had my account more than 10 years ago. But generally, you can only have 3 free examples. So what you have to do every so often is to delete, okay, a Padlet, or you can archive it as well. But before you delete it, make sure you save it as an image, and then you've got a copy of the Padlet. So once you've saved it as an image, then you can delete it, and then of course you can make a new one. And that way you can be working with, I need to refresh. That way you can be working with Padlet and keep working with it all the time. So I've been using my account for over 10 years by simply doing that. Okay, so really, really powerful technology. Okay, going to come back again. So stop sharing, back into. So we've got a couple of minutes left. I'm just going to throw in one last one. I did see some of you mention this, and that is Mentimeter. Mentimeter is a great technology if you want to again check understanding. It's free. You can make as many Mentimeters as you want, and you can have 3 activities in each. They call it a presentation. All right, so you can make as many presentations as you want, and you can have up to 3 activities in each one. Now, I'm going to take you over to Mentimeter. So let me just jump over to it. Again, it's a technology that you can see I'm using a lot. I'm going to create a new presentation. That's what we call it. We call it a presentation. And I'm going to write Italy. Okay, I'm going to click on Create Presentation. And again, we've got quite a nice variety. We could do a multiple choice question and get the students to choose make a multiple choice. So maybe I could ask the question here, for example, what is your favorite tool today? Was it Wordwall? Was it Padlet? Was it Answer Garden, etc.? So that would be one possibility. I could do a simple multiple choice question, but I've got loads of other possibilities if I want. So if I'm just going to add another slide a minute, just to come back again, we got multiple choice, Wordwall, open-ended, scales, ranking, Q&A, and select answer. And we can use any of these activities. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'll do for this one, I'm going to use this one again, open-ended. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it that it's like a flowing grid. So not only can we choose the activity we want, but we can also choose the way that information is going to be presented. I'm going to click on this one here. I'm going to just delete the first question because I only want one question. So I'm just going to do an open-ended question. So I'm going to delete that one. We're just going to have the only one question. And the question that I'm going to ask is, what has been the most useful activity, or what's been the most useful technology today? Okay, so we've looked at 4. Okay, so I create the activity. I create the flowing grid. All I need to do, again, really simple, guys, is I click on share. I'm trying to show you really easy technologies. Now, if your students are in the class and you wanted to do an activity in class, maybe to vote for something, then we can get them to just log in to menti.com and then put that code in, and then they can vote on the answer. But again, because I'm teaching you online today and I just want to collect I'm basically collecting ideas together, I'm going to use this link here. So I just copy that link, okay? And then I'm going to come back. And so you've seen 4 technologies today. Obviously, we've only seen them really, really quickly. So I'm just going to come back again to just jump out again. I'm going to, sorry, I wasn't screen sharing that. Apologies. Sorry. I didn't realize that. 1 second. Sorry, guys. I just realized I wasn't screen sharing that. So I'm just going to come back in again. Apologies. I wasn't screen sharing. So Wordwall, that's better. Sorry. Mentimeter. Right. So let me just go through that again. Really apologies, guys. I didn't realize I wasn't screen sharing. So here's all the different activities I've done. I click on new presentation and I'm going to call this Italy presentation. Very sorry, guys. I didn't realize that. Create presentation. And then I can choose, do I want to do a multiple choice, a word cloud, open-ended, Q&A, ranking, scales, select answer type question. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose open-ended. So I click here and I'm going to ask a question again. What technology did you like best today? Okay. Let's change it. Let's say, what have you taken from today's presentation? Now, I was trying to make it really, really practical today, so I wanted to throw lots and lots of technologies at you. So that's the question. I'm going to click on flow grid. Then I click on share and I simply copy the link. Now, if you were doing this in class and students had their telephones, they go to menti.com and they just put that code in and then they can answer the question. But obviously, we're going to do this online. Sorry about that. So I'm going to copy that link, stop sharing it. I didn't realize I hadn't clicked on the share button. I hadn't clicked on it. I'm going to share the link with you guys. There it is. Okay. And we're going to pass that on to you now. And this is the last activity. Just want to get all your ideas together. Okay. What have you taken from today's session? So we've looked at different technologies. We looked at a few techniques. We've talked about the problem of how we can make sure that our students are following us and that we know that they're following us during the session. We've talked about lots of the different technologies that we can use to help us do that, okay? So if I quickly now do screen share again and come back onto the presentation, I can already see, I'm going to click on present. Okay, so I can see someone saying Wordwall is new for me. New ideas, definitely. Some interesting tips. Mentimeter. Lots of new ideas to use in class. Many new tools. New ideas and lots of enthusiasms. Thank you. Lots of cool ideas. Thanks. Lessons can be fun. There can be hard work though. Lots of ideas and tools to connect and have fun while learning. I'm screen sharing this, guys, so that you can see as your ideas are appearing on the screen. They're all coming up right in front of me. Lots of interesting tips. Okay. So we've got 96 people commenting at the moment. Now 104 people commenting. Yeah. Everyone writing up their ideas onto the screen. I can see loads and loads of ideas now coming up onto the screen. So you can just see, yeah, a lot of practical ideas. Thank you. Good. Loads and loads of ideas coming onto the screen of different technologies we can use. They're all free. Okay. I loved Word Wall. Some people like Answer Garden. Yeah. Answer Garden, really simple for a quick question, can work really well. Okay. It's nice sometimes to vary the tools. Lovely. Good. Surely interesting. I like Padlet. Best to have immediate. Good. Okay. It was interesting. Great. Okay. Lovely. So you can see feedback from students here. Really good. Okay. One nice thing about Padlet, of course, is that you can actually interact with the content. And that's really, really clear. Okay. 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 I'm going to stop, guys, because of time. Sorry that I did get that one thing wrong. I thought I was screen sharing and I wasn't. I'm just going to quickly jump back to the presentation just for the last bit, because there's something really important I want to show you. So I'm just screen sharing, and I am screen sharing this time, so it's really important. So let's just come back in. So we've looked at a couple of new technology, or not necessarily new technologies, you might already know them. Word Wall, and we looked at Mentimeter. There are other tools, of course. Some of you mentioned some of these: Kahoot, Socrative, Flipgrid, etc. Okay, so a couple of summaries. Make use of the tools in the webinar app you use. So, of course, the webinar app has a chat window, has audio. You were already talking about that. Looking for new ways to quickly check understanding. Typical tools that we use like Answer Garden and Padlet, and then these new platforms, these new technologies that we've looked at today. Particularly Word Wall. Now, what I have done is I've made a special handout that will show you how to use some of these technologies, plus a bonus one that I haven't presented today that is absolutely fantastic if you want to get your students speaking. So if you want this special handout, all you need to do is, hopefully got it here, is to email me on russellhandout@gmail.com, russellhandout@gmail.com. Put the subject Macmillan, and then just say, hello, this is blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah. And automatically you will get that handout. All you need to do is to email me on russellhandout@gmail.com, put the subject Macmillan, and just say, hello, this is blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah. And you will get that special handout. And that special handout has got videos to show you how to use Word Wall, videos how to show you how to use Padlet and Answer Garden. I think, and there's a video of how to use Mentimeter as well. And there's a bonus one that's really special, guys. So have a little look at this bonus one. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to say a big thank you to everyone. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to come back, and we might just about have time. I don't know if we're going to, for Kazi, maybe a few questions. If you can tell me, Casimir, about any questions that have come on the screen that I should try and deal with.
Yep, there was quite a few good ones. Probably won't have time to ask them all, but a few of these were pertaining to Padlet. There was some questions about whether or not it was a bit too confusing with all the different boxes, questions, and feedback that people were adding to that.
Right, well, it's a really good question. What you have to do, obviously, don't forget, we had more than 400 people online, sometimes 200 people doing an activity, which is crazy. If you're in class, you do the first activity, the students put their ideas. You wait until everyone's got their ideas. Then you turn on the comments, and you turn them to go back to the activity now and comment on someone else. You stage it. It's 2 parts. Okay, don't do it all together. No, first the students put their ideas up. Then you turn on the comments. then the students respond to what someone else has done. That's absolutely vital. Okay, make sure it's 2 stages. That's the point about Padlet. It's very powerful because you can respond to the student generated content. That's really important. Great question. Any more?
Okay. Another one, there's several that are quite similar. And one comment that we saw was that a lot of these tools you've shown us are maybe more focused on assessment. Do you have something on like evaluation, or how would you evaluate, all the answers and so on that the students are submitting?
Well, I think that's, I mean, obviously that's a really good question. Okay. And the thing is, that's the point I'm trying to make. It's one of my key points. Yeah. One is that we have to think about how we're going to get feedback from our students, because we don't get that informal feedback that we normally get that helps us to understand how the students are doing. But secondly, we need to respond to the content. Now, sometimes that response is that we work with the content. So we use that for another activity. So the students are producing something, and then we use that for a discussion, for a related activity, maybe for some homework, maybe for doing a presentation, maybe for them writing something, maybe for them summarizing the information. Okay. So you've got to decide on what you're going to do. But it's very important that when we get student generated content, when we get that content, that we make sure that we work with it. We don't just say, right, well done, guys, let's move on to the next activity. No, that we try to use it. Hence the reason with the Padlet, I was suggesting that they respond to the questions. Someone's just written a question there, that the presentation went a little bit quick. And obviously I understand that. I was trying to get a lot in. I know that you're all at the beginning of your teaching. Please, if you get the handout from me, then you can go back slowly over I've made the videos to explain to you exactly how these technologies work. So please get the handout, and that will make life really easy for you. I do appreciate that was very quick, but it's the beginning of the teaching term, and I wanted to give you as much material as I could in 1 hour. So no, really good comment.
Yeah,
Any more questions, Kazimir?
Yeah, there is one more, and it's related to what you were saying just now. Before I ask you that question, though, I'm just going to remind the teachers that I'm going to explain to everyone how they can get the attestato after you answer the final question. So if they'll just, after your answer, just stay on the line for another 30 seconds. And the final question is one that I had myself, to be honest with you, and it's, with all the information you've given us, all these new tools, for me, some of these were new, and I think I can speak for everyone. How do you begin to use all of these tools? You've given us 4 or 5. Where to begin? What would you recommend to a teacher who's struggling to deal with all these, tools?
I really agree with that. And actually, again, I really focus on the key technologies. Okay, so there are particular ones that I really like because you can use them time and time again. And in that case, if I was looking at what I've showed you today, that would be Padlet, because Padlet is really flexible. You can even get students to record their voice and put their answer up. Okay, again, if I wanted to, I could have just focused on Padlet for 1 hour. So Padlet is a great tool for that. WordWall, because it's new and it has lots of different activity types. Okay, so if you was just to learn those 2, or even just one of them, immediately you would be able to make your lessons a little bit more interactive. You don't need to learn all 4. I was just giving people a choice of different activities that they could use to engage. I don't, focus on a technology that you think, wow, that one looks really good. Okay, and learn it. And the videos that I've given you, if you've got that that link, those videos will really help you, because those videos take you through exactly what you want to do. I'm just going to quickly remind you of that. I'm just put it onto the screen just for a quick second. So if you want that handout, okay, just go gmail.com. It's russellhandout@gmail.com, subject Macmillan. Just say who you are, that this is blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah. And automatically you will get that handout. And that handout has got videos that will help you to learn all of these different technologies that we've been talking about today. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing again and come back to our presentation. I hope that helps.
All right, Russell, concrete ideas. I think the main thing, two things actually. First, experimentation, and the second is, you know, it would be impossible to learn all of these things at once. It's just going to take some
Definitely,
time. You know?
definitely.
Like you were saying, choose one. Choose something you really like.
Choose one. I would suggest Wordwall or Padlet. Wordwall or Padlet. Wordwall.net. It's wordwall.net or Padlet.
Okay, wonderful. So just a quick reminder to all the teachers that the attestato di partecipazione will be available on the website mondadorieeducation.it/attestati in about 1 week's time. Usually takes a few days to a week to get those attestati online. And then finally, Russell was the first of our trainers, and we'll be doing these sessions every 2 weeks from now until the beginning of December. In 2 weeks' time, which is October 7th, we'll be having Russell's colleague, and he's also the director of NILE, Tom Kittle, a wonderful person and a great presenter too. So I'd invite you all to that. And Russell, I'd like to just thank you once more, and you know, see you the next time.
Thank you. Okay, hope that was useful. Hope, guys, that's given everyone something that they can work with, because I know we're going to have a tough term in front of us. So hopefully there was something there for you to use in your classes. Thank you very much to Macmillan for inviting me as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Russell.
Technology worked brilliant. So thank you.
Thank you. And do get those attestati on the Mondadori website, mondadorieeducation.it/attestati. Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.